What's up, guys? Welcome back to Wanderlusting Lawyer. Today I have, drum roll please, a shoe video. And I know shoe videos are a dime a dozen when it comes to Camino de Santiago YouTube videos, but I actually haven't done one in a really long time, in probably 5 years, more than 5 years since I hiked my first Camino. I used New Balance Trail Runners that Camino that I switched off with my Keen hiking sandals. I really like those shoes. I think looking back, the toe box was a little bit too narrow for what I've figured out about the anatomy of my feet, but they don't make them anymore. But I did like those shoes, I think, for a little bit of a shorter Camino, and if I'd gotten them wider, they would have worked out a little bit better. I did not make a shoe review video for my second Camino. I used Salomon Trail Runners. I don't remember which model they were. They were really, really, really comfortable when I tried them on, and that was the reason I purchased them and used them over the course of, I think it was 9 or 10 days on the Camino Aragonés, starting in France, and unfortunately they did not work well. I don't know if it was user error or just the shoe wasn't right for me, the lacing system perhaps, but I ended up with a lot of blisters, some foot pain, and I did not end up ever using those again, and then just didn't make a video about them. I know a lot of people love that brand, and it might work for you, but third time's a charm, so they say. And the shoe that I used this past Camino, I loved it. I will plan to use it again. I used it on the Camino Inglés in June 2023, so just this past summer. And without further ado, it is the Toppo, T-O-P-O, Ultra Adventure 2. Now, I think they're up to the 3 or even the 4 now. So this is the shoe that I wore, the actual one I wore, but I have a new pair also in my closet. Wanted to make sure I picked it up before I wasn't able to find them anymore, because, it becomes harder to find older versions of a shoe as they make newer ones. So if you haven't heard of this brand, it's not widely talked about really anywhere, and especially not in the Camino sphere, but I love it. So I was really big into trying Hokas and Ultras, because I know people love those. Hokas, I felt totally unstable. My ankle already is a little bit weak from an old injury, and I did not feel stable at all. I felt very wobbly. And the Ultras, I just didn't like how they sat. I didn't try on every pair, but the ones I tried on, I didn't like how they sat on my Achilles. I was afraid that they were going to rub. And I also wasn't huge on the zero drop, just because I didn't know if I was going to have enough time to kind of practice with them the amount I would want to. The Camino Inglés is 5 days, about 120 kilometers, give or take. I did a couple little mini side trips, so my entire walking over the course of 5 days was about 130 kilometers, which is a little averaging over 25 kilometers a day. Some days were shorter, some days were longer, but that was the average. And these shoes were terrific. I did not get one single blister, not even the start of a blister. And I have had blisters on my other Caminos, I think perhaps due to too narrow of a toe box. So that's why I wanted to look for a shoe with a wide toe. But the Ultras, like I said, they didn't work. So that's when I came across this shoe. And it's very similar to the Ultras in terms of a very wide toe box. That's what it's known for. And these actually are men's shoe size, because I have bigger feet anyway, but also they tend to be even a little extra wide in the toe box, and you can even get a wide version. So really, I mean, there are all the options for as wide as you need that toe box. And the reason I picked the Ultra Adventure is because it has a 5mm drop. So a lot of the trail runners out there have between 8 and 12, and I would say that's worked fine for me, but I don't know. I didn't, like I said, necessarily want to transition immediately to 0, so I liked that this was a medium, low to medium drop. And the first second I tried it on, it was so comfortable, so squishy inside. I didn't end up using any special insoles. I just used their regular insole, and it says it's powered by Ortholite. So I don't know if that's what makes it squishy and comfy, but it was really nice to walk in. One of the features that I thought was important, but actually never ended up using, where it comes with integrated gaiter clips. So if you get a gaiter to cover your ankle in rain, mud, or try to keep those little pesky pebbles from getting in, that's a nice feature. But I don't know if it's the construction of the shoe or what, but I actually had so many fewer little rocks and pebbles jump their way into my shoe than I've had in the past, which is super annoying, as I'm sure you know if that's happened to you. I loved the colorway of the shoe, which is not the most important thing, but hey, I like walking in shoes that I like looking at, because sometimes I'm looking down at my feet. And it also comes with the Vibram sole, so really, really solid on wet, slippery conditions. Didn't have any slipping problems, and yeah, I thought the laces. I did the heel lock style lacing to prevent slippage in my foot, and I felt like that worked really well. So if I know they make probably 3 to 4 other trail runner models, Toppo, and also some in the boot version. This may be the only one that comes with a 5mm drop. There may be one other, and then a couple others are 0mm. So it's nice. There are options for people who like both of those stack height options. And another thing to mention that I always look for this in a trail runner is the toe guard with not just a reinforced, but an actual like protective toe bumper here, so that, just with rocks and things like that, I can be a little bit clumsy on my feet, and some really nice ventilation channels on the upper and also here in the back. And I never really felt like my feet were overheating, which is one of the things that can lead to blisters. So this one is not waterproof. I always take with me my Keen hiking sandals and waterproof socks for a day that's just going to be like a deluge. I don't want to walk in waterproof shoes unless maybe I were going to do like a March or April Camino, because it just would get too warm for my feet and then I'd probably get blisters. But I like having that option. But this time I only had some sprinkles on the Camino Inglés, and the shoe, I never really felt like it was getting soaked or wet or anything, and it dried up quickly. So yeah, I mean, this is the one thing I can't speak to, I guess, is longevity over 800 kilometers, since I only did, about a seventh of that, let's say. And I have hiked in them since, so probably have done maybe 150 kilometers total. I mean, there's a couple little wear items starting, but I want to say my New Balance shoes had a lot more wear after fewer time on the Camino Francés, and I mean, maybe that was from hiking over the Pyrenees, who knows, but a great shoe all in all. Like I said, the biggest accolade I can give it is not accolade. The biggest, I guess, praise I can give it is the fact that I bought a second pair, and I do plan to use it whenever my next Camino is. Stay tuned if I'm going to be able to do that this summer, or if it'll be the next year. But I will, if I can find, I don't know if it's still on Amazon. If it is, I'll put the link below. That is an affiliate link, so you can help the channel just by purchasing something you're already going to purchase by using that link. But I will also see if it's still available on other websites that maybe are a little less known to you, and include those links down below. But once again, the brand is Toppo, Toppo. Check it out. It might be a great option for you. And thanks for joining. I'll see you soon. And as always, say it with me, buen camino.